Why would you ever have to say I am racist?
In what scenario is that normal? Listen, no. I'm a racist. I am a racist.
Digging in the crates for something good. Hidden gems often misunderstood. Cause you know there's no such thing as too much. Miscellaneous important stuff.
Welcome back to the show. This week, I actually have a recording from 2 years ago for you. It was part of a larger conversation I had with my friend Nick about a lot of different topics. But in this recording, we talk about relationships, we talk about marriage, we talk about racism, we talk about work. We got into some heavy stuff, but it was also a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Here it is. I forgot, somebody brought it up recently, or I heard a quote, or maybe it was a podcast, about racism and reverse racism, but also like the idea that you can't be racist if you're...
Oh my goodness.
If you're not white.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's...
So, okay. Whatever term you want to put to it, it's still, like, if you want to argue that, like, which I don't believe, if you want to argue that that you can't be racist against a white person, you can be something against a white person because they're white, whatever that something is. That is not good.
Yeah, fine. We don't have to call it racism. Fine, You're not racist, but you're being mean to me.
Yeah. Purely because of the fact that I'm white.
Yeah, and I've heard it from people before too.
Yep.
Like in whatever videos or maybe in person.
Treat like, wow. Everybody with respect. Treat everybody equally. Doesn't matter.
Then I think you could be... I've heard the term casually racist and unknowingly casually racist, which I think is a thing.
Okay, so here... Okay, two things that I'll say. One thing that you should never in your life have to say, I am not a racist. That is something that... If you're saying it, you probably have a problem. Like, if you get yourself into a situation where you have to say those words together, it's probably not good.
Especially if you said a racist thing and you go, what? I'm not racist.
Yeah. 2, racism only takes one act. Being not racist takes an entire lifetime. Right?
True.
And there is, it's not like it's, there are different levels of racism as well. So
are you saying that you could say one wrong thing that sounds very racist and maybe like a racist statement, but then you are labeled a racist for the rest of your life, even though maybe you've spent a lot of time trying to build relationships and be a good person and treat everyone the same, but you say one wrong thing and then you're just awful.
Yeah. So let's assume that you are not a racist. You've never said anything racist.
Look, I'm not racist.
That good callback. Why can I not remember his name? Kramer.
Oh yeah. I'll look him up. Wait. Is that with a K?
Michael Sarah. No. What is his name?
What? Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. So, and then you do what he did.
Yeah.
Are you going to say that he's not a racist just because he hasn't done anything before that act?
Are you asking me if I hear that? I think it depends on what happens after that, because I don't know him at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think also the problem with that is he was trying to be funny. I don't remember exactly what he said, but that was part of it. Like, he's off the cuff. He's just saying what he thinks is funny and maybe not even realizing how bad it is till later. because it was pretty it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean,
But that's the problem with comedy.
yeah.
I think you say things and that's it's hard to be on the right side of the line
Yep. Yep.
because you're supposed to ride the line.
Exactly. So, I don't know, like, you're going to make mistakes. And, I mean, I think we're always going to have an active effort to go against racism,
Yeah.
sexism, those kind of things.
I think
don't
you
think
do
it's
it.
just. I don't think it's just a like you make laws or whatever, and it's a closed problem. Close
Yeah.
the books, and you're good.
It's about how you interact with people.
Yep.
Because I know someone who said some things that probably questionable, but he
Yep.
doesn't even know it.
Yep.
And so to me, it's like, but like, what are your intentions? Because he's also like a really good guy. He's not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. He's not
Yep.
trying to say the wrong thing. But it's like
Yep.
you have to make an effort, and so that's the time where someone can say that's like sounds a little racist.
So, I think I've talked to you about this before as well. Like, I never want somebody to call me a good guy.
Yes, I bring that up all the time. I really do because
After I said that,
yeah,
or
because I
did-
love that conversation. So somebody said that to me before. That like you're a really nice guy. I'm like, don't call me that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like,
let me tell you
yeah.
what. I have this friend.
I have this friend who has an amazing reason why you should never call
Yes.
somebody.
So now you explain that reason.
so that we have it documented.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna probably do a terrible job at it, but I don't want to be called a good guy because the good guy is usually the term that's used whenever you're talking about, like, whenever if you know somebody, but they end up being a rapist and a murderer or whatever, it's always he may have been a rapist and a murderer, but he was a good guy.
I never got that impression from him at all. He was
Like-
so nice.
I watched a documentary or a newscast on this guy who ran away from his family in the middle of the night one night, I think, started a whole new life in another state, tricked all these people, lied to all these people for years and years and years, became a well-respected person in the community, and they found out years later and he was being prosecuted for something. I think it may have been that he killed his old family. I can't even remember.
I think I know the documentary.
Yeah, and everyone of the people that were in the documentary for his new town were like, he's just such a good guy. Like, what?
Which is a funny time to use that term.
It is like, so what I'm thinking is it's more the fact that they associate with him and they don't want to think that they associate with people that aren't good people.
Yeah.
So they just want to project that onto them. And I mean,
Yeah, because you'd be like, clearly I would not have talked to him
Yeah.
if I didn't think he was
Of
a
course.
good guy.
yeah, I can't see what the reason would be again for having to say I'm a racist. Or sorry, so, why would you ever have to? Well, okay.
I don't
Even
either.
more than having to say I am not a racist. Why would you ever have to say I am a racist?
In what scenario is that normal? Listen,
No.
I'm a racist. I am a racist.
I just want you guys to understand
Yeah,
that.
Get over it. I want to be on the same page.
Yeah. Even more than sorry. Just like I am not a racist, I don't see why people would have to, like, why would you have to bring up the fact that somebody's a good person?
That's a good point. Because
Like,
you try to
what-
make a case for them, isn't that?
Yeah,
usually-
like, if they're good, what scenario, like, I don't know.
That's also true about like being married or having
Mhm.
kids. I get that a lot too, where I'll be like, I don't know if I'm gonna get married. I don't know if I'm gonna have kids, and somebody will be like, Why? I think you'd be such a good dad. I'm like, first of all, based on what? Because you think I'm a good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But what do you know about me as a dad,
Yeah.
or as like an older brother, or
Yeah.
as like a parent figure in any way?
Yep.
But I get that all the time. But you would make such a good dad.
Because I know you.
Because I know you everything about you.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about that time that I went to jail for murdering children? Does that sound like a good dad to you?
It's. Yeah. Yep.
Or you'd be like, I might not get married. You have to. You have to. Do I?
So
Do I?
I don't know. Maybe we're just all these conversations just fall into gray areas, and it's trying to, like, racist, not racist. Like, you may have done something that makes it to where you have to say that you're not a racist.
Because you're like, yeah, I was, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't believe in the actions that I just did. Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of like expectations or certain expectations
Mm-hmm.
where everyone's got to follow a certain path.
Mm-hmm.
You go, I don't know if this that's like the whole thing about like know you're normal though. It's like
Yep.
you don't have to go to high school, then go to college, meet somebody in college, get married to that person, have a kid a year later. Like that's not normal.
Yep. Well,
I mean, it is.
maybe somebody's normal.
Well, that's
And
it is for some people, and they
Yep.
do fine. Like they live a
Yep.
good life. That's awesome. To me, marriage is like a weird thing.
Yep.
Weird, but possibly wonderful.
Weird, wacky, wonderful.
Because I don't know what to think about it. It's,
Yep.
it's like I think people are still doing it the old-fashioned way, but we're not
Yep.
living in the same times. But people are approaching it the same way,
Yep.
which seems weird. Like in the early 1900s and before that, when you
Are you saying that we should have digital weddings?
yeah.
Online?
Yeah. I think there should be a better way to find a partner that we haven't figured out yet.
So you say should be. Do you think there actually is?
I think there would be if everyone was like in some sort of database.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like a dating site, one. And they had figured out maximum compatibility for each person.
Yeah.
I think there could be. I really don't think it's there yet, but I think we have the technology to do it, but everyone would have to be like
Yeah.
in the same spot.
Yeah. It also just like what makes up chemistry, like between people. Are there data points that can be tracked to be able to tell that there's going to be chemistry between these two,
I don't know.
or is it just that spark?
I think that's part of it.
This magic moment.
Because you got like opposites attract sort of thing, but also part of it is people spending more time getting to know
Mhm.
themselves, which I think people skip that sometimes.
Yep.
So then you can say, I definitely want these things. These things are what are going to make me feel better, are going to
Yeah.
make me feel supported, and all that. And then the spark that will just come from dating. So you could have like,
Yeah.
all right, 30 people who meet these requirements that you know you need.
It is amazing how much your non-negotiables change over time,
It's true.
and whenever you meet the right person, how much the non-negotiables change. So I mean, establishing those non-negotiables up front, and then you could be missing out on.
I know.
Great
I think you have to be
opportunity.
careful about those things.
Yeah.
Some of those I feel like I've been flexible with, but then I ended up going
Mhm.
back to it. Like I think creativity was one where I was like, okay, well
Yep.
maybe I don't
Yep.
need that. But then from dating different girls who weren't, then I was like, nah, I think I
Yeah.
need that.
Well, yeah.
But that's good too.
Yep.
Instead of just being like from the beginning, no, it's got to
Yep.
be that. It's got to
Yep.
be it. So I don't know. I think there is a better way. We just haven't
Yeah.
totally figured it out.
Yeah, it's.
Or is monogamy for life practical? I've heard that question brought
Mhm.
up before. because we're not dying at 40 anymore.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being practical.
Lobsters. Well, yeah, and I think for the hard thing about monogamy,
Hit me with
here's-
it. Get in there.
if you're the only person that believes in monogamy,
Yeah.
you're out of luck.
You're screwed.
Yeah,
You're like, I really
exactly.
believe in monogamy, and then
So
everyone else says no.
So any concept that as somebody that believes in monogamy, any concept that you have to convince other people, or you have to like tell other people to do it so that you can have what you need
Yeah.
for what you want, yeah, it's not a good situation. But
It's not a good starting point.
yeah, yeah, I don't know where to go from
Okay,
there,
so
but-
why do you believe in monogamy, though? No, not just monogamy. Monogamy and like for life.
yeah.
And I think I do too. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
do you?
Goodness gracious, this is like nature versus nurture and those kind of things. That there have been things. It may be because of the way I was brought up. It could be low testosterone. I don't need to go beat my chest, and I don't know. I don't.
I wish you would.
I don't.
Yes.
No, I that part I don't know that I have low testosterone,
But that's the chest beating Nick is the one I want. Touchdown!
Why do I believe that?
Yeah, good question, right?
Yeah, well,
right?
because I feel like I could come up with answers, but I feel like I would just be making something up.
No, if it's why you believe in it, then it's not making it up. Not for you. If that's if those are the reasons, if those are your reasons. I mean, it could be just
Like-
as simple as that's what I'm drawn to. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, it's just always been an expectation for me. I don't know,
Like for yourself, like from you.
from me.
But is it more
But-
than just an expectation?
I don't know.
Because I think there is some of that just from like the culture we're in, because it is normal. Like
Mhm.
that's what. I guess it'd be the majority. I don't know what
Yep.
percentage it would be, but most people are either looking for that or they've got married.
Yeah. Like, I don't have a problem with other people not being monogamous as long as they're honest about not being monogamous.
Yeah.
With going back to the fact that hurts me and being able to find a monogamous mate.
Yeah.
But if I didn't already have one. But.
Don't worry, Margo. He's still here. Okay.
So,
But do you worry about that?
do I worry about what?
Just monogamy, or you're like, cool, I'm good.
Worry about monogamy. What there's worry about.
Okay, I should
Whether-
say marriage for life. Do you worry
Mhm.
about that, or it's just like, good, I'm ready.
Yeah,
That one.
that one.
See, I'm like the opposite. Like I think I want it, but I'm like, ugh. No, that's
Is it which part of it is worrisome? Is it the commitment to the same person and not knowing, or knowing that things aren't always going to be that great? And
well.
which part of it
From
is?
talking to somebody else who was married, and they were talking about hard times they've been through.
Mm-hmm.
but they also still want to stay married. I was like, really, that's all I'm looking for. I just want somebody who I can be like, I don't even want to be in the same room with you right now, but I'd love to stay married. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up for me, because I'm
Yeah.
with that with friends and family. Like,
Yep.
there's plenty of times where I don't want to talk to my mom, or I
Yep.
don't want to talk to my brother because you're like really making me angry.
Yep.
But there's never a thought where I'm like, I'm never going to talk to them again.
Yep.
Just like, I probably don't need to talk to them for a day or an hour or whatever, because I need some time. So, like, I think I look at marriage the same way. I don't think I've met anyone where I thought I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Because
Yeah,
there's
that's
plenty of women who are, like, eligible for marriage, but I'm not just, like, looking for somebody that's willing to get married to me.
Yep. No, it's having like marriage and finding the right person and raising a family is like my primary goal in life. But not wanting to just go out and run and grab somebody.
Yeah.
It's not the marriage, it's not the wedding that's the goal. It's the
life.
It's finding a good guy. I mean, a good person.
Wait, is there something else you need to tell me?
That's right. I'm coming out.
Hey!
I want the world to know. I'm gonna let it show.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, if the goal is just the wedding, boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal for a lot of people, though. And then, yeah, one of my friends I played high school soccer with, I went to dinner with him before he moved.
Yep.
This was years ago now, but he was talking about his wife. He goes, Jay, don't ever get married. I was like, why? And he was married at this point.
Yeah.
And he brought up this story where he's like home with his wife. I think they hadn't been married that long, and they were like getting ready for bed or something. And she goes, it doesn't feel any different now that we're married. And I was like, uh-oh. Because that's not what you should be expecting.
Exactly. Like you should never escalate a relationship expecting something different.
Yeah. I've always hated the term the happiest day of my life, or like the wedding being the happiest day of my life, because I'm like, that means that's the
It's
best
all
it's ever
downhill.
going to be.
Yep, again.
Ever.
Yep.
So good luck.
Yep.
Really, it should just get better and better and better.
Yep.
Or you could say happiest day of my life so far.
Yep.
That I'd be okay with that.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Just even just the fact of being alone together, I think is
Nice.
like nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's where because I can be alone.
Yep.
I get lonely, but I can also, I know how to be alone and be happy. I can
Yeah.
hang out. If I was alone tonight, I'd find things to entertain myself. I'd be fine. I'm not like just, if somebody's not here, then I'm going to
Yep.
die. But with that said, I think having a partner or the right partner would enhance that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's it. And that's what I think is also wrong with certain people's relationships. They're just looking for somebody to make them feel okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you have to be able to feel okay, at least okay, before you're like looking for somebody to help enhance your life.
Yep. Yeah. Starting within.
Yeah.
Starting with yourself.
If
Love
you
yourself.
cannot be in a room alone for a night and just be okay, watch a
Yep.
movie, feel happy, get some sort of joy out of that, then you're screwed, because you can't be with that partner 24/7.
Yep.
Sometimes you're going to have to separate. They're going to go on a trip to see their family or whatever.
Yep.
Or you live in different countries.
Yep.
And like, you have to be able to just take care of yourself.
Yep.
So there's where I'm at.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, I think an expectation of being entertained is, not well thought out.
Yeah. That you owe me this.
Yep.
You better make me
Yep.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah, the idea
Instead of finding your own happiness.
Right. Making somebody else happy, that shouldn't be your responsibility ever.
Okay.
If you can help with that, that's great.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
you should want to do that, or it's good to want to do that for your partner,
Yeah.
but it's not good to expect that
Yeah,
of your partner.
you should want to, but you
Yep.
shouldn't expect it.
Yep.
That's not fair to expect someone else to make you happy.
Yep.
It's just a bonus when you get it.
Yep. Agreed.
Because if you're like demanding it, then it's like an obligation and a responsibility, and like then I don't want that.
It's like expectations go a long way, because like you go from, if you're expecting something and it happens, it's just like, okay. If you're expecting it and it doesn't happen, you're upset.
Yeah.
So not expecting something and it not happening, not expecting something and it happens, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right? It completely changes it.
I think just expectations in general are terrible.
Yep.
We all have them.
Yep.
Even if you don't want them, they just happen.
They're unhealthy.
Yeah. We're like, "Ah, I just thought he was going to propose tonight.
And he did.
Oh, expectations. They're the best.
Yeah, proven.
Oh, yes.
Big tongue.
Oh, I got a quote I can read you. You tell me if you agree
Sure,
with this one or
sure,
not. This is from one of my favorite episodes of podcast that was recommended to me a couple years ago now. But worth listening to, because this just talks about happiness and some about expectations and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta log into the email. Okay. Okay, don't look at it. I'll read it. Okay, this is from Peter Rollins. I think he's an author and what's the word I'm looking for?
A gentleman.
It's a good pun.
Thank you.
I want to say psychologist, but that's not the word I'm looking for. What starts with the P?
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist. No.
Psychopath.
Psychopath. No. He's I don't know. Maybe he is a psychologist. I don't think he is, but he's an
Okay.
author. So this is a quote about relationships. He said, "Relationships are crap. Relationships don't work, except when compared to all other alternatives. In other words, instead of buying into the stupid dream that you'll marry someone and everything will be perfect and everything will be great, which, by the way, 20-somethings do in America all the time, buy into that lie, that just creates so much destruction. If you can have a relationship where you go, I don't know if I love you sometimes, I don't know if you love me sometimes, I don't know if this is the craziest thing we could ever do, and in fact, this probably will fail because most relationships do. I mean, even the relationships that don't, people end up sleeping in separate bedrooms, in silent resentment of each other. And you go, if you can embrace all of that and say, if I was sensible, I'd walk away from you right now and never see you again. And then you say, will you marry me? Will you spend the rest of your life with me? That's romantic."
Completely agree.
Do you?
Oh yeah. No.
That's one of my favorite quotes from him, because he's
Yeah.
like, you got to stop with all that.
Yeah. No. It's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I mean, I've been through some tribulations with Marga
And trials.
We've had some trial periods. No. Yeah, things have not been perfect, but yeah. We've had our arguments and our fights and our imperfections, but
Yeah. But then in the end, you're like, I still want to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. And that's sort of what I was talking about before. Was like, I don't even want to talk to you right now.
get out of my face.
Let's get married.
Yeah. I hate you.
Yeah.
I love you.
But he's so good.
I hate you.
And he talks about happiness too. And he says, he's been accused of trying to make everyone depressed. He's like,
Yep.
my goal here is not to make everyone feel depressed or tell you that you should be depressed. What I'm trying to say is you already are.
Yeah.
I thought that is so great. That, and the idea of like embracing that and knowing that even not just in outside of relationships, the same idea that you're not always going to be happy, and then you can't expect that, and the idea of
Yep.
happiness that is sold to you, that you can't buy into that.
Yep.
that sometimes you're going to be depressed or unhappy, and you have to just accept it and go,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
If you're gonna get out at the first, what is it?
Sign of trouble.
Sign of or first anything like anything that goes wrong. Yeah, you're not going to be in a relationship very long because, yeah, like you said, nothing is perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be even close to perfect. But
either
for the right person,
either is life alone.
it depends. For some people, I think that they would much prefer to be alone.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's fine, but if you're like comparing the two, like
Mhm.
just as far as things going wrong.
Yep.
Because it's helped me. Because I go, oh well, that sounds sad.
Yeah.
How bad things can go. But then if you think about living alone or living a life alone, things are going to go pretty bad for yourself too.
It is like sad to think of how that's misapplied sometimes, I guess, about like staying in a relationship
Yeah.
through tough times, even whenever it gets abusive. Yeah. But
What do you mean? Like that you should say you're saying I get what you're saying.
going the opposite
Yeah.
way of like,
They're like, well, he still loves me.
yep.
But
Like, and
yeah,
when it's
knowing
not
what's
love.
a regular tough time, like just
Yep.
something to go through together.
Yep.
And what's actually abusive and wrong and
Yep.
unhealthy.
Yep. And from like hearing about stories of people that have gone through those kind of things, in the moment they don't even realize how bad things are.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, but
I think that's most of the time
yep.
because you build a connection and then somebody can like slowly pull you in
Yep.
and brainwash you in a way.
Yep.
I think it's too common. And
Yep.
it doesn't matter if you go, hey, that's doesn't seem good.
Yep.
Because it's hard to listen when you're in the moment.
Yep. Well, and then on top of that, people get to the point where they're like, I've invested all this time.
Yeah,
Which
so
is
I can't
not the
live.
right. It's not the right question to ask.
Yeah. It's like, and that happens with other things in life too.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I've spent all this time in this hobby or this
Yeah.
job. I mean, I guess I got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you hate it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I've done it for a long time. So
Like, admitting that you've wasted the last 10 years at a job that you don't like is somehow worse than spending the next 10 years
Yeah.
at a job that you don't like.
and it's really just all about appearances. Because then
Yeah.
to everyone else, it's like, oh, well, they didn't
yeah.
make a mistake, I guess.
Sometimes it's just admitting it to yourself.
That's true. That would be
Yeah.
hard. You
Yeah.
go, wait, maybe I don't actually like this at all.
Yeah.
Even though I went to college for it,
Yeah.
started a career,
Yeah.
and don't know where to go.
A little bit of a jump, kind of on that topic of job and whether you like it or not. I feel like I almost kind of like what I do a little bit too much. That whenever, to the point where it's hard for me to get away sometimes, and I know that you feel the same sort of thing. Like, you just want to finish this, like, oh man, if I just get this done, it'll be good, and then I can take a break and go go back to normal.
And the break never
But
comes.
yes, exactly. Just like I'll tackle this and I'll put in all the work it needs, because I do like doing this, and even if it's stressful and I don't like the stress, but I do like the getting it done, and I do like the process of getting there. But yeah, so I feel like I've been spending too long in some things just because I do enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I sometimes
Different
have a hard
topic.
time just enjoying the process.
Yep.
like doing all this building stuff,
Yep.
I was so excited about, and this is
The
maybe
end
a bad
result.
example because I do feel better that it's done.
Yep.
I mean, I enjoyed some working on it, but at a certain point I was like, I just got to get it done because
Yep.
this is not fun anymore.
Yep.
And I'll have more fun when it's done.
Exactly.
But yeah, with other things, it's since you spend more time in the process than you do in the result, then
Mhm.
you need to enjoy the process.
Yep. I mean, the results are good. Yeah.
Sure, but then like if you're only living for that high, it's like, ooh,
Yep.
that's
It's going to be a
bad.
grind the rest of the time.
Yeah, you get
because
those
most
small
of the
moments.
time, and what happens whenever it doesn't pan out and you aren't able to deliver.
Then the climb's
that.
even harder to the next
Ooh.
feeling.
Yep.
It's like when we were making The Zone. There we were. And there I am editing. Just editing away. Trying to get it done. And that was definitely a period where I was like, if we just get this out, if we just get it right,
Yep.
if it just looks okay, if Gordon will just like slap it a little harder, the face, I mean, not the, then it'll all work out and we'll make another movie and then we'll make lots of movies and everyone will feel great.
Mhm.
And then it didn't work like that.
Nope.
It was more of just feeling back at the same spot.
Yep.
So I try to take a different approach.
And you don't.
I think I'm better than I was then. But yeah, once I get really into something, it can be hard to step away.
Yep.
Because it's always in my head. Like, I'm not done with that. I need to finish that. I got to do that.
I feel like that's probably a good place to stop. So like I said in the beginning, that is part of an old recording from 2 years ago. That was back when I was first getting into podcasting, first trying to figure out what I was going to do and how I wanted to do it. So back then I would do 2 or 3 hour conversations and then edit them down to something closer to 45 minutes. And I've kind of got away from that because it takes so much time to pull out the good stuff. But let me know what you think. I do think there was some good stuff in there. I don't love listening to those old recordings because I like to think I've come a long way since then. And it's also just, I don't know, it's tough to listen back to old conversations. I don't listen to these new episodes either if I can help it. So anyway, I'm just rambling now. So if you like this episode, please let me know. If you hated this episode, please let me know. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, please let me know. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.